Very good morning. We have started with 2.4 Anak Krakatoa. I have finished till page number 34, half part of page number 34. We'll continue with that chapter. Then in 1927, a plume of smoke rose out of the water on the crater. Plume means an upswelling of molten material from the earth's mantle that rose out, came out of the water on the crater. Crater means circular depression or hole. Any large circular depression or some hole. It was then followed by another eruption. Another eruption took place at that time. A few days later, a new island volcano broke water. A few days later, a new island came out that is known as volcano that broke out from the water. How did it happen? How this happened? When the underwater volcano threw up ash, when the water which was down, underwater the volcano which was down threw away ash, from down the ashes were coming out and the rocks, it was quickly taken away by the sea water. But then the lava started flowing out of the crater faster. Then what happened? Then the lava came out. It was flowing out of the crater. Out of the crater, I said, any large circular depressions or hole that came out very faster. This volcanic material was not at all taken away by the waves. These volcanic materials were not taken by the waves which were moving very fast. And then from that a new mountain began to grow. These molten things, that is the glowing red hot, were not taken away by the water, but slowly it remained there and a mountain started growing. It kept growing and was soon seen above the water. It kept on growing and then soon that mountain was seen above the water. Thus a new island grew from the old island. Then from that a new island grew. From which island? From the old one of Krakatoa. And then it was named as Anak Krakatoa or the child of Krakatoa. This Anak Krakatoa is also, that means a new island grew from this old island of Krakatoa and it was then named as Anak Krakatoa or the child of Krakatoa. What is Anak Krakatoa? I told you it is a child of Krakatoa. Anak Krakatoa is still an active volcano. This volcano is yet active. Eruptions have begun again since 1994. Eruptions were going on again and again. From when? From the year 1994. It lies quiet for a few days and then again there are eruptions. It keeps quiet for a few days, then again eruptions take place. I said eruption means a sudden release of pressure such as lava from a volcano. With more lava flowing out, the island is still growing bigger. With more lava which is flowing out, the island is growing bigger and bigger. Since 1950, the island has grown up at an average rate of 5 inches per week. Since 1950, what happened? This island was growing at the average of every week. Per week, it is growing up for 5 inches. Because all these rocks, molten things were kept over there. It was not moving on, it was not flowing. A part of the old island known as Krakatoa, a part of the old island known as Krakatoa is still visible in the sea. That old island which was over there, that is named as Krakatoa, is yet visible, it is yet seen in the sea, a little away from the new arrival. The new arrival, that is Anak Krakatoa, which came over there, A little far from that, we can see the old island called as Krakatoa. After Krakatoa's eruption in 1883, all the surrounding islands and coast were covered with hot ash. It is said after Krakatoa's eruption in 1883, all the surrounding islands, all the islands which were near about and the coast were covered with hot ash, as well as the coast were covered with what? Hot ashes. No life remained. Not a single thing was remained over there. No life. No human beings, no a mosquito, nothing. Then when a scientist visited in the year 1884, he found just one spider over there. When a scientist came to see over there, they found that only one spider is there. But the living world on Krakatoa was not lost and gone forever. But the living world, the people, that is the animals or the insects, whatever were living on the Krakatoa are not lost but are gone forever. They are yet over there. The wind and the sea brought seeds of plants to the island. The wind which was blowing, the sea which was flowing, they brought seeds and there were plants grown. Some seeds came with the birds who flew over the island. Some seeds came from whom? From the birds which flew over the island. Plants and animals that live in the sea came to the coast again. Slowly, what happened? Then the plants and animals that were living in the sea came to the coast again. Small land insects like ants, termites, or even rats and lizards travel to the island on plants. Small land animals, which are those? They are like ants, termites, means lakdi ki keeda mantak, that, or even the rats, undira, and lizards. They travel, they move around to the island, where on the plants floating in the sea. One edge of the island was soon teeming with plants and animals. Here, it is said that one corner of the island was teeming with plants and animals, was moving with plants and animals. It was like a laboratory where scientists can see how living things slowly develop in an area. It was like in laboratory where the scientists are seeing how living things are slowly developing themselves in that area. Today, scientists can observe this also in a part of Anak. What happens today is the scientists can also see that this area, this part of Anak, which does not get covered with volcanic ash. This small child of Krakatoa is not covered with volcanic ashes. The western coast of Java was greatly affected by Krakatoa's eruption. Then the west area of Java was mostly affected by the eruption of Krakatoa. Very few human beings were left over there. But the wild animals and the plants in that area grew in number again. But then what happened? The wild animals and plants, they grew in number again. In fact, wildlife grew naturally since there were no human beings to interfere with it. In fact, wildlife grew like a natural, as there were no human beings to interfere with it. No one would cut down the trees. They were growing naturally without any water, anyone to look up after it. There was no one there to cut the leaves, kill the animals. So this region became rich in wildlife. So this Anak Krakatoa became rich in the wildlife. My dear children, I finished the chapter. You just see this lava volcano. You have to solve the question answers at home. I'll give you in the next lecture. I'll solve the question answers with you in the next lecture. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.